this tour, if you're looking for the best players in the world, the USA is where beach volleyball is.
The energy of the events, like winning an AVP tournament, there's nothing like it.
And I believe in us, so I want to live up to what my beliefs are.
I think I've won the majority of the tournaments that I've won because I want it more than the people on the other side of the net.
I hate losing. Winning is awesome, but losing is just terrible and I do not want to do it.
I knew that we were just going to have to go play our game and there was nothing else we could do. Like, we were basically expected to lose from the beginning.
On the AVP Tour, the very best beach volleyball players from all around North America travel the United States to compete on the grandest stages and at the highest level that this sport has to offer. They compete with one goal: to prove that they are the best in the country and are ready to take on the world. Throughout the 2021 season, this is what life on tour is really like for one of the game's legends who's competing in his final season on tour. For one of the game's brightest up-and-coming stars, embracing the challenges of being a full-time pro. And for the faces of the new generation, a team ready to take the pro beach volleyball world by storm as they embark on the first year of their careers.
The New Orleans Athlete of the Year, Kristen Nuss. Coming out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, let me hear loud and proud for Taryn Kloth. And he is now a four-time Olympian, Jake Spiker Gibb.
First up this way, UCLA. Let me hear it for Zana Muno.
This is AVP Uncovered.
Born in New Orleans, so always been an LSU fan. And kind of as a kid, when you're just like growing up, you always picture yourself like wearing LSU across your chest. You're just like, wow, like I want to do that. So just wearing that jersey for one, just going into every match, you just like wear it with so much pride. At LSU, they have shaped me into the player I am today, and I would not be in this position without them. So looking back on my LSU career, that is for sure something I think about, just how thankful I am for the coaching staff and just for that, and just honestly to the university for everything that they've given the beach program. Going into like high school, I was like, yeah, I'll just play, like I'll try out, do it. But then it kind of switched. At the time, basketball was my like top sport, and it was still like volleyball was just like, okay, yeah, I'll go play it. Sophomore year, kind of when beach came into play. There was like all the Catholic schools in the area, in this area, they do a Slam and Jam tournament, which is just like a 6-man tournament at the beach. My friend, one of my good friends who's a year older, she got some of the indoor people to go play in it, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go play in the sand, like 6-man's fun. And there was a doubles tournament the next day, and she called me up that night. She was like, hey, do you want to go play in this like women's open tournament? And I was like, yeah, sure. So we walk out, and the team that we were playing against were like, it was like an older women's team, and we were like, oh, we got this. Like, we're gonna be so much better. We got absolutely destroyed. Like, I don't think we scored more than 10 points in both sets. Even though we got destroyed, we were like, this is awesome.
We had a YWCA league, and half the year it was volleyball and the other half of the year it was basketball. And I was obsessed with basketball, so I was like, oh, totally signing up. And then the second half of the year when I had to play volleyball, it was miserable for me. I absolutely hated it. I was always the kid that like, you got one serve over the entire season and everybody was like, woohoo, go Taryn. And I was like, no, I know I'm terrible. So I never really liked volleyball. And then it wasn't until my best friend tried out for like a JO traveling team, and she was like, hey, I'm going to this tryout, and that was the only way that I would like even consider it, was because she was doing it. And somehow, I don't know how, but I made the team. And then that year, it was just so much fun learning. I know that I wasn't great, obviously, but it was just so much fun that I just kind of fell in love with it, and that was the end of it. That's all I wanted to do, always.
With Taryn and Kristen being paired up at the #1 spot for LSU in 2020, the two went a staggering 36-0 in a season that saw Kristen become the all-time winningest player in the history of NCAA beach volleyball. Now, with a full year of training and playing together under their belt, and the first tour event of 2021 right around the corner, the question for this team is whether or not their success in college will transfer to the Pro Tour.
My first volleyball experience, I guess, was in my backyard playing with my friends. You know, I was in high school, I was a basketball player. We all graduated and lived in this big Mormon community where when you're Mormon, you go on a mission when you're 19. And so I had this year to kill where I wasn't going to go to school, and so we just played volleyball in the backyard of my house. It was grass. We played so much that we like wore holes in the grass where we would stand. So it was just like, it was dirt patches filled around with grass, you know, on this volleyball court with like a droopy net, garden hose for lines, and we would just play. We'd play all day. We'd bet Orange Julius's. Losers would have to go in and get Orange Julius's, make them for the other guys. And it was just me and a group of my friends, and we had no idea how to play volleyball. We got our hands on a volleyball magazine. I remember like we were teaching each other how to set. We read this article from this woman named Carolyn Kirby. You guys don't know who that is, but a legend of our sport. And it was like, okay, form a triangle, put it above your head, and then you work on the setting. And we would just teach ourselves how to play. And that was my senior year of high school. So that was like my intro to volleyball. Like I didn't know jack shit. Like I knew nothing at that point. It was like, you know, trying to teach ourselves, but it was just hack barbecue volleyball. And so, yeah, but that was, you know, I was 18, so I had a way late start into volleyball. When I guess I was 21 years old, I was playing in tournaments in Utah, and I started winning those tournaments. So they have sand tournaments for like the top division, and you win like a cooler or $100, or you feel like, you know, you're semi-pro or something. And so we started winning these things, and one of my partners from Utah asked me to go play in the AVP. And so we traveled out to Chicago and we played in an AVP. We got beat, went to another one, played, and we qualified. We qualified for the Pro Tour like right away. And I was like, dang, I can play. I qualified for the Pro Tour. It was a big deal. All of a sudden, you know, AVP had all this clout. There was this whole status of like qualifying for AVP, and I was like, dang, so maybe I could try and make this thing happen. So at that point I was about ready to graduate college, talked to my wife, we just got married, and I was like, hey, I want to go try this thing and, you know, try beach volleyball in California. So we traveled out. My wife took up 2 jobs. I went to the beach. We gave it 2 years and made shit happen. Like it's crazy to think about it now. Like at this age, I'm like, no way I take that chance. Cause it was like, you know, at that time also, I thought that like all professional beach volleyball players made a great living. I had no idea like you had to be at top of the game to like make a good living. And so I was like, dude, I just want to go out and play like pro level, you know? And come to find out, you're like, oh yeah, you got to be like the top guys to like get this done. And you know, luckily I was naive because I made the leap.
Jake is gearing up for his final season on the AVP Tour. And after 20 years of playing professionally and boasting one of the most successful careers in the history of the sport, this 4-time Olympian is looking to prove that he has what it takes to go out on top. The abbreviated 2021 season presents a new set of challenges for Jake as he looks to enjoy one last run at the legendary Manhattan Beach Open with his longtime partner and phenom defender, Taylor Crabb.
So I started playing volleyball when I was in 7th, 8th grade. I played like my whole life. I grew up in Hermosa Beach. You kind of just are around it. Like you play at middle school on the yard and stuff. But I started playing like for real in 8th grade. I played soccer my whole childhood. I like loved soccer. Mia Hamm will forever be my idol. Like I was like so into it, and then got super burnt out in like 7th grade-ish. And my dad's best friend was Mike Dodd, and I didn't even know he was like really a volleyball guy. But him and his wife were the middle school coaches, and they were like, just go to a club tryout, like just try out. And so I tried out. I was horrible, but they were like, just put her on the team. Like, I promise she'll be better later. Like, just give her a chance. So they put me on the team, and then after that, I just kind of stuck with it and loved it. But beach volleyball, I think that came like as soon as I started playing real volleyball. It just like kind of hard not to fall into it when this is your backyard. So I played indoor and beach at UCLA. It was a journey because playing 2 sports in college is like the gnarliest thing you could do, and they're very similar sports obviously, but going from like passing indoors just like straight to a zone and setting like as fast as you can to like, it's a completely different skill, and so differentiating the two is really hard, and then also just like balancing 2 teams, 2 coaches, 2 seasons all year round, and also having like a life in school and all of that was really, really gnarly. But yeah, that was, I think, something I'm incredibly grateful for, but I think it made me realize like I didn't love indoor volleyball, and it like showed me how much I really did love beach, and that was what I wanted to do moving forward, even if that meant like a lot less consistent lifestyle, because I definitely could have tried to pursue the overseas indoor career, but I think with the growth of the sport, I don't think there's really time to do that like you used to do and then go play beach. And I also didn't really want to because I loved beach a lot more. Come on, Hal.
As one of the most exciting and promising young stars on the tour, Zana is looking to build on a 2019 season that saw her go from the qualifier to the semifinals and establish herself as a true contender. Now, in 2021, Zana has a chance to find the balance in her life and consistency in her play that will solidify her as a title threat on the AVP and thrust her name into contention as one of the elite defenders in the game, vying for a spot in the 2024 Paris Olympics.
You always do that. So like, you're just kind of in the rhythm with the cut shot, and you pulled late once, you weren't even really thinking about it. So now you're like consciously being like, I gotta see.
Say, that was a pretty late pull.
No, you're right. You're right. I don't know. I still think you could have seen it.
Michelle. That's tight.
Good. All right, hey, I'm going 3 easy down balls. Put her up tight.
With just 3 days until the Atlanta Open, Taryn, Kristen, and their coach Drew are finalizing their preparation both in the gym and on the sand as they get ready to take on Taryn's very first qualifier and look to book a spot in their first pro event as a team. An AVP tournament is a 5-day-long event starting with an open qualifying tournament during the week. Coming through the qualifier is a rite of passage for American professional volleyball players. It's a grueling single-elimination tournament that tests both the player's skill and their nerves. Athletes from all over North America travel on their own dime just for a chance to be one of the top teams that makes it into the grandest stage in the sport, the AVP main draw.
I'm gonna serve, cooperative angle swing. Again, either a 1 or a 4, but when we're blocking 4s, we gotta block this ball. All right, we gotta quit talking about what went wrong afterwards.
I'm very excited about Atlanta coming up. So we have to play in the qualifier. I've actually never come out of a qualifier before. I've played in probably like 4 or 5, something like that. It could be more, could be less. But obviously this one is a little different than all of the other ones. I could not just be more excited just to get out and compete against the highest level of competition in our sport. I can't stop saying just excited because we are just so excited to get after it and compete. Like, I mean, we always are, but this one just means a little bit more.
Is that out? Oh! How close is that? Nice. Seriously, that freaking close? Alright, good. Thanks, law of averages. I was like, I'm gonna serve as hard as I can. I and end this game?
Just kind of preparing. They'll probably play like the highest consistent competition this coming weekend, and so try to play more of a physical, like bigger, more athletic type game, making more block moves and transitioning off of harder attacks and more physical play and stuff like that, and then try to create that in the gameplay itself. So I think it went pretty well. It's kind of stuff we've done before. We just kind of changed little things here and there. And they did pretty well.
I'm gonna dig the cut, transition sets, then I'm going hard driven ball back. And off of that dig, anything goes on both sides.
To be completely honest, very nervous. Don't know what to expect. I think that there's going to be so many people that I am going to be like in awe of the volleyball that's happening. But I also want to be very confident with where I am in my training and know that I can go out there and compete with all of these people. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I was not nervous.
At the site of the Atlanta qualifier, every match is high stakes. It's win or go home in this single elimination tournament. For Taryn and Kristen, coming off a summer in which they only lost one match, their expectations are high. Facing off against some of the top amateur teams in the country, they'll need to win 3 matches in a row to lock up their spot in the main event.
I saw Kristen Nuss play for the first time probably 3 years ago, I think in Manhattan at an East Meets West college tournament. There was something about, and it wasn't even her level of play. She was awesome, but there was something about the focus and the way it looked like she saw the game that I'm just like, we need to keep an eye on this person. Didn't think too much of it until what they did in their college year. Kristen and Taryn, and I had never seen Taryn play before. And she's somebody who almost fell into beach volleyball and is now in love with it. If she wanted to go play pro indoor, she could do that as well, but she's just fallen in love with the beach, and thank goodness.
And then I started seeing everybody that I knew, and it was just kind of like, it felt like home, and it was more comfortable for me. I think it was a good start as a team, and just kind of looking forward to the next one, just taking it one at a time. We kind of got to watch our opponents play, not exactly sure which team won, but got to see them a little bit, so just ready for the next one.
After playing steady in their first 2 matches, just one match against a familiar opponent stands in their way of making the main draw. With nerves of steel, the pair is able to come out on top and earn themselves a post-match visit from AVP Competition Director Marty Swan.
Will you guys be taking the accommodation, the hotel room?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, it's at the Embassy Suites. It's right like a 3-minute walk from the main site. Congratulations.
Thank you
Good
so
luck in the main draw.
Where are you from?
Australia.
Yeah, I love that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you. Kristen? Kristen!
Taryn, Kloth, and Kristen Nuss are on to the main draw of the Atlanta Open. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'm like obviously happy, but I'm like, all right, now it's go time. Like, we wanted to be in the main draw and we accomplished that goal, but that's also not our only goal for the weekend. Like, we're coming to make some noise hopefully on this tour. So excited for tomorrow.
Wait, that's not the first time you qualified, right? Yeah. It was? Good job.
Next time on AVP Uncovered. Taryn and Kristen take the tour by storm, bringing the heat from Baton Rouge up to the ATL. It's time to find out, not if they're ready for the Pro Tour, but if the tour is ready for them.